start talking about February, marketing for February, and Valentine's Day. But before we start, I thought I should just mention a little bit about this, the monthly BedandBreakfast.com webinars that I've been doing. These webinars are really offered to spur ideas for your marketing efforts, everything from packaging to social media and blogs and all sorts of other partnership and other kinds of marketing ideas. So what we do here is we just throw out a whole bunch of ideas for you and hope that one of them works. Of course, not every idea will work for every innkeeper. We know that a lot of what we present won't work for you, but the goal is to just offer some inspiration or one or two concepts that you can take away and make work for your inn or bed and breakfast. And if you have more than one idea that comes from each webinar, then you've really won and you have a bonus. So hopefully today you're going to find a whole bunch of ideas that'll work for you for marketing during February and Valentine's Day. Let's go ahead and take a look. So what happens in February? What are some of the events and things that happen in February? Well, it's National Heart Month, which is important. That's a big one. It's Creative Romance Month, which works well for marketing inns and B&Bs. It's National Hot Breakfast Month, and that's another theme that all innkeepers can wrap themselves around. It's National Black History Month too. And then from February 12th to 18th is Random Acts of Kindness Week. And Freelance Writers Appreciation Week, which I thought had some interesting potential. Of course, as we all know, February 14th is Valentine's Day, and February 20th is Love Your Pet Day. Now, there's a lot of other themes to other days in February, but I thought these all had some significance for innkeepers. So let's first look at some ideas for National Heart Month promotions. One of the ideas that I had was that perhaps you could create some kind of a package where you offer a $50, $75, even $100 room night rate in exchange for the same amount that would be a donation to the American Heart Association. Of course, this would be for midweek, non-holiday, non-Valentine's Day week. And you might team up with other inns and B&Bs, perhaps make it a region-wide promotion. The state of Maine does something like this in May for Habitat for Humanity, and they call it Habitat for Hospitality. And it works really, really well during kind of an off season in the state of Maine to help put heads in beds, and goes to a good cause. You'd want to promote it widely through the media, through social media, work with your local chapter, American Heart Association, to get some publicity too. But just a thought. You might try something like Get the Heart Pounding promotions during the month of February in conjunction with National Heart Month. Do so in winter climates, maybe those are skiing, snowboarding, winter hiking, snowman building, snow cave building ideas. In warmer climates, maybe that's swimming, walking, biking, rock climbing. And in all climates, you might add some thrilling events to get the heart pounding, like skydiving, race car simulations, IMAX adventures, and if you have a sense of adventure, maybe something along the lines of adventure in bed, if you dare. So anything that would get the heart pounding would be a nice tie-in with American Heart Month. So for National Hot Breakfast Month, this is a great way to get some PR for some of your breakfast recipes. You could promote your healthy hot breakfast recipes to the media and tie in with, all the New Year's resolutions that are going on right now, along with Valentine's Day. Invite the media to come and enjoy a hot breakfast at your B&B, or perhaps appear on some of the local news shows. Some of them even have kitchens and guest chefs that appear on them. You might pitch your best hot breakfast recipe to your local food editors as a tie-in with National Hot Breakfast Month. They may not realize, your editors and some of the assignment editors at the TV stations may not realize it's Hot Breakfast Month, so you might be able to tell them about that. And radio stations love this kind of thing. You'd appear on air with your hot breakfast that you would bring to the DJs, which they always love, and talk about National Hot Breakfast Month and specifically about some of the great breakfasts that you serve up. In addition, use social media to promote your great recipes. You can ask your followers to comment about their favorite their favorite recipes that you serve up, and share ideas for breakfast that your followers might want you to try. You could even invite some guests to be a chef of the day and prepare a hot breakfast alongside you in the kitchen, which I know, I'm hearing it. I'm hearing a bunch of groans and cringes through the airwaves here, because I know that's probably not something everyone would want to do, but perhaps a live Facebook demonstration creating one of your hot breakfast recipes would also work really well too. So for Black History Month, you might promote any of the relevant aspects of your own history if you have some. BedandBreakfast.com does a great wrap up of the 10 Underground Railroad inns, and that gets a lot of play during Black History Month. So if you have some kind of a tie-in with the Underground Railroad, or it makes a nice little feature story, but it also makes great information for your blogs and for your social media too. Let's talk a little bit about Random Acts of Kindness Week. This is a nice opportunity for you to do a little bit of giving back. One of the things you might do is give away a different, or create some kind of act of kindness for every day of the week, and do some kind of online giveaway, whether it be through your website or through your social media outlets. Some of the ideas that I had of giveaways might be breakfast at the inn for one giveaway, a one-night stay for another one, a dozen of your signature muffins as a third giveaway, or a coffee mug and a pound of your signature coffee if you have that, a dinner at the inn if you have a restaurant. Any of these are great acts of kindness that also make nice promotions throughout that Acts of Kindness Week. I think that's the 12th to the 18th of February. This is another great idea for a radio station promotion. You could work with your local radio stations to give away something to a local listener every day, kind of along the same lines as what we were just talking about, but doing it over the radio, which would bring you some nice visibility. Of course, again, you'll want to bring breakfast to those DJs, so they'll be talking about you too. Or this is a great opportunity to create a different community-oriented act of kindness, whether it's every day of the week or maybe even just one day of the week, bringing attention to the fact that it's National Act of Kindness Week. And some ideas I had were to bring breakfast or muffins or bag lunches to homeless people each day, perhaps offer cooking lessons, invite some of the teens from the Boys or Girls Club to come to your inn and learn about cooking or healthy cooking. You might bring some of your blankets, or your older ripped blankets, towels, or sheets to the animal shelters, or grab all those extra soaps, shampoos, or other items that you can't use in your guest rooms and take them to some of the domestic abuse shelters. These are all things that that are certainly wonderful community acts of kindness that then you can talk about to help promote your wonderful intentions during that week. Talk about them online. Again, another Facebook Live would work really well for this kind of thing. So, as a media person who focuses a lot on media, I thought that Freelance Writers Appreciation Week during February 12th to 18th would be a great time to launch some kind of media promotion. Either use that week to invite media to come to your inn or B&B at a later time, or perhaps it's too late for this year, but maybe next year during that period, you might invite freelance writers to come and stay at the inn or B&B. I realize that this is Valentine's week, so it's probably not the greatest week for you to be inviting people, but it's a great thing to talk about with freelance writers who would appreciate some recognition, I'm sure. So use it as a stepping off place for inviting them to come and stay with you. So is your B&B pet friendly, or do you have an inn pet or a mascot? because on February 20th, Love Your Pet Day, you can certainly use that day to talk about your pet-friendly accommodations or offer a shout out to your own mascot in your blogs, a pictorial essay of your mascot would work really well around this theme too. So it's just a nice theme to be able to give some structure to some of your social media, because I know that if you're like me and everyone else, you scratch your head each morning saying, what am I going to talk about today? Well, here's some things that you can talk about. Okay, that's the rest of February. Now let's move on to Valentine's Day. I found it very interesting that according to Fortune magazine 2016, the average spending on Valentine's Day per person was $512. That is, just behind Christmas of $806. I was amazed at how high that was. That means that people are willing to kind of go all out for Valentine's Day, making it special. And Valentine's Day is midweek, so bookings straddle the weekends before and after the holiday. BedandBreakfast.com provided this great slide from 2017 showing how bookings change and the fact that they peak. Of course, it's not surprising that they would peak on the weekend before and the weekend after. Once again, Valentine's Day is in the middle of the week on Wednesday, so you're not going to see as many people able to travel during that time, but you will be seeing those peak check-in dates the weekend before and the weekend after. Don't give up too early, because just as you've been seeing, probably for the last 5 to 7 to 10 years, bookings often happen at the last minute. People are waiting to see what the weather's going to do and so on. So most of your bookings for Valentine's Day will come within probably a week or 2 weeks before Valentine's Day. That means that starting a push right now would work well for those late bookers. BedandBreakfast.com tells us that the average nightly rate on Valentine's weekends is $222. So is your pricing right for that weekend, those 2 weekends? I mean, you want to think about that, especially in the top markets for Valentine's Day. Asheville, North Carolina, $249 is the average rate. Williamsburg, $246 is your average rate. St. Augustine, Lancaster, Gettysburg, Stowe, Vermont, $224, Lenox, Mass, $245, and Key West, $325 a night is your average rate. Is that where you're pricing your Valentine's weekends nights? If not, you might want to think about that. So let's look at some ideas for Valentine's Day promotions. Remember, February is for lovers, and you want to try and get as much out of Valentine's Day as you can. So why not make it a month-long promotion? Obviously, February 14th being in the middle of the week won't work for everybody. So make sure that your Valentine's Day promotions perhaps last the whole week. Here's an example from the Shadow Mountain Escape, which is a group of cabins in Virginia. And they do a great job of promoting February being Valentine's month. I know the Captain Lord Mansion in Kennebunkport has different events planned for every weekend, for example, in the month of February, just to try and build those weekends so that there's something going on, with romantic themes every weekend. Here's another example from the Holden House in Colorado. They do a number of different kinds of packages and offers throughout the month of February. Midweek package, Sunday through Thursday, stay one night midweek and get the second for half price. They do a stay 2 nights and get the third night free. And they're promoting also their Lovey Ducky Bubbles and Breakfast package. So these are all things that are being offered throughout the month, and just to build on the romance theme for the month of February, get the most out of it. So remember, February's Creative Romance February's Creative Romance Month. So your packages Of course, you're going to want to include the flowers and the chocolates, but why not get really creative? Add experiences, hot air ballooning, or tickets to a sports game if you're in a city with a strong sports following. You could perhaps add matching jackets or matching rings or other things from local shops and artisans. Add in some love potions or exotic cocktails for two. Maybe that would work for your inn. I saw one inn that hides a diamond necklace on the 2 weekends that surround Valentine's Day. Amazingly, they hide a necklace at the inn, and the guest who finds it gets it. So don't be afraid to go extravagant. As a person who's involved with PR and media, I am constantly seeing requests from the media for extravagant Valentine's Day promotions. This is not a B&B promotion, it's a Hilton promotion, but I thought it was a great example. This Love the Ride package. The deal includes a 2-night stay in a luxury suite, a private tour of the Harley-Davidson Museum, $500 worth of Harley gear, and a Harley-themed in-room surprise amenity. And after the weekend of celebrating your love, you and your love will drive off on a brand new limited edition Harley-Davidson Softail Slim S. I thought, wow, now that's a extravagant promotion. Probably no one will ever take advantage of it but the media loves to write about these things. It would be something to really, if you created something like this, it would be something fun to talk about throughout all of your promotion. Of course, there's always that Valentine's proposal experience that you can create too. What's more romantic than coming to a B&B and proposing on Valentine's Day? So if that's the kind of thing that you're good at and you like to do, you could promote that. Make sure that you have information out there about how you will meet with and consult the nervous, beau. You can create special desserts and other props to reveal the ring. You can create special settings, maybe put together a package that would include a photo album to take home of the proposal and perhaps photography of the moment he proposes or she proposes. Not everyone can splurge, though, on Valentine's Day. So for some, you may be thinking, I just am not in a position to create one of those really extravagant Valentine's Day packages. There are just as many people looking for budget ideas, too. So you don't have to be the extravagant in your B&B. You can be the budget one and create some midweek one-night packages, perhaps some kind of a hot date experience during February that might include just a romantic DVD or perhaps a photo by the fire or dessert for two or something like that that doesn't have to be a huge expensive add-on. Make sure that you are tying in with the Valentine's events in the area. When I was doing some research for this webinar, I found many different kinds of chamber-oriented or chamber-organized events. There's the chamber or the CBB in Albuquerque, New Mexico, had a fabulous page on their website listing all the Valentine's Day packages and deals. Kennebunkport, the downtown or the chamber in Kennebunkport puts together a February-long event called Paint the Town Red, and they do all sorts of restaurant and inns and B&Bs and hotel packages around that Paint the Town Red theme. And then they promote it really well through all of their media too. So if your chamber is doing something like this or your CBB is doing something like this, make sure that your Valentine's Day package or your Valentine's Day offer is a part of it. So Valentine's Day doesn't have to be just for couples either. How many of your guests also have kids? If you are a family-oriented B&B, put together a family-oriented experience. Create that wonderful Valentine's Day package that caters to not only the couple, but the kids too. Now, this won't work necessarily if you're really geared toward romantic getaways, but it will work for places like dude ranches and farm B&Bs and things like that that really cater to families. And of course, if you're pet friendly, why not create some kind of a puppy love package during Valentine's Day where you invite couples to bring their dogs or other pets with them. Now, of course, you've got, Valentine's or February is for lovers, but what about the 105 million single people who are out there who absolutely dread the day of love, February 14th? For single people, Valentine's Day really stinks. So why not take the other approach and create events or packages or promotions for single people? The Black Mountain is a ski resort in Jackson, New Hampshire. Every year they host a chairlift speed dating event right before Valentine's Day, where you can find the ski bum of your dreams by riding the lift of love. Yes, that is true. That is what you do. So if you've got something like that going on in your area, why not be the B&B that invites them to come to, bring your ski bum, your new ski bum love to our B&B and take advantage of the new person that you've met, or just somehow tie into, maybe if you have a restaurant, offer to be the prize for offer a prize for something like this where they get a dinner for two afterward. Promote. This is a perfect time to promote girlfriends getaways too. Certainly for those single travelers who would love to be able to travel on Valentine's Day but don't have the girlfriend or boyfriend. So why not be a BFF getaway location? Here's a great one from the Avenue Inn a great example from the Avenue Inn in New Orleans, who has many different packages that they've geared toward women. This one is all about girlfriends getaways, and this one has a great sense of humor. It's called Breaking Up is So Very Hard to Do, But I'll Get Over Him. The only thing worse than being single on Valentine's Day is being single and being recently dumped on Valentine's Day. So this package is geared toward those folks with a 3-night getaway, 2 full-size beds. So you've got, rooms that are geared toward 2 people. A copy of the book, He's Just Not Into You, 2 pints of Ben & Jerry's ice cream to eat on the porch, and my favorite part, the voodoo doll with pins and permanent markers that you can write his name or her name on, so that that you can really take it out and enjoy your get over him getaway. So it's okay to have a sense of humor too. Packages for those who missed Valentine's Day, get out of the doghouse package. This is another idea. This is really just a perfect package to create after Valentine's Day, when, for some, depending on your climate, the 2 weeks after Valentine's Day can be a really slower period. So how about a get out of the doghouse package for those people who missed Valentine's Day by accident? Come to their rescue. For social media, make sure that you're creating your own hashtags. Valentine's Day from Name of Your Inn, Find Love at Name of Your Inn, Date Night at the Dewdrop Inn, Love the Dewdrop Inn, any of those, or create your own hashtag that you can encourage guests to use when they're posting photos from your inn or B&B. So you've got some great Valentine's Day promotions, and I bet you've got some of your own that I'd love to hear about at the end. So now, what do you do to get the word out? It's time to start promoting the heck out of those Valentine's Day promotions. Number 1, be sure, once again, that you list your package on all the chamber and association pages that you can. Make sure that package is written up on your listing pages, or if they've got special pages that are geared right towards Valentine's Day, make sure that your inn or B&B's package is on them. Update your messaging. Be sure to include Valentine's Day messaging and packaging in your listings, like, for example, on BedandBreakfast.com. Are your packages listed up there? And is your Valentine's Day package list up there? Be sure that you have a cute little blurb that you can put, you only have to create it once, put it on all these different kinds of pages where you can list your packages. And don't forget about the directories like BedandBreakfast.com too, because people are looking for packages there. So often I go on to a website and innkeeper is talking about Valentine's Day, but they're showing pictures of the summer, or they're showing pictures that don't, of families and so on. Make sure that your photos coincide with the season on both your directory pages and also on your own website. This is a little aside, but this is a great little tip that somebody shared with me recently, and I found it amazingly helpful. There's a website called Pexels, Pexels.com, with the most amazing photography that is free and can be used for commercial purposes. It has what's called the Creative Commons Zero license, so that it can be used for any legal purpose. And I can't believe the photography that I find on here. A lot of the pictures, the nice, cool pictures like these, for example, I found on Pexels, and it's just a great little page to bookmark, so that if you need any kind of generic photography and you don't have it, this is a great site to go to. So quick, send your newsletters out there about Valentine's Day. You need to make sure that it's, what are we, about 3 weeks away from Valentine's Day. So for those people who are just beginning to start focusing on Valentine's Day, this is perfect timing to get the idea about your Valentine's Day packages and promotions. I've been seeing more and more Valentine's Day newsletters coming into my inbox, and that's great. That's great. If you haven't started your newsletter about your Valentine's Day promotions, get it started now. Chesterfield, and I'm not going to try and play this video, but they've created not only a wonderful newsletter, but a video that goes with their Valentine's promotion. And it's a real little 38-second video that they're using on social media, on their newsletters, and so on. If you after we finish this webinar and they send it out online or post it online, you'll be able to click through to these different newsletter promotions or videos and take a look at them. What about a Facebook Live session on any kind of upcoming Valentine's Day promotion? For at least the past 2 or 3 years, the Rabbit Hill Inn has done a promotion which they create a Facebook Live video about, where they give away a dozen of these fun little, what do they call them? Valentine's Pop-Tarts, Valentine Heart Pops, that's what they are. And so if you like their video, they'll go online, they'll talk about it, they'll talk about Valentine's Day at the Rabbit Hill Inn. If you like the video or share the video, you are entered into a giveaway, a drawing for a dozen of these wonderful Pop-Tarts, heart-shaped Pop-Tarts, to be sent to you. They get a lot of responses to this, and hundreds of responses to this. It's a great little promotion to not only get people to interact and comment, but also to sign up and share. So make sure that your blogs, if you're creating weekly blogs or monthly blogs, make sure that your blogs are promoting your Valentine's Day getaways and the different promotions that you're doing for Valentine's Day at your Airbnb. And don't forget, most importantly, to review your pricing, especially in light of the region, and plan accordingly for Valentine's Day. This is one of the periods in the wintertime where you can really want to take a look at your pricing and work with the supply and demand. So that's it. That's those are my 25 great ideas for, maybe a few more than 25 great ideas for Valentine's Day and February marketing. Any questions that anyone has?
Thanks, Marty. That was wonderful. looks like we don't have any questions that have come through quite yet, although I did have a question earlier in the presentation about asking if the presentation will be available for download, which yes, it indeed will, and we'll also send out the webinar recording. So you guys can watch those videos that Marty wasn't able to play due to technical difficulties.
So I